Let's get back to testing. I just kind of solved the problem of multi-line text, which was shaking too freely at first. But frankly, my solution didn't solve this problem completely. Because unfortunately, there are many ways to create a multi-line text, and not all of them will behave well with my library. For instance, a text with line break tags written in one line will also be considered a one big line by my code. But for now I will leave that alone, because again these problems of multi-line text aren't likely to occur very often. Next, there is a problem of extra spaces which may surround the text. For example, if I add a lot of spaces here, the text content will contain all these spaces, and canvas measure text will give us an appropriately huge measurement. But we are of course interested only in the visible part of the text. So we have to trim it before passing to canvas measure text. For that we have a convenient trim method of a string. Next I want to check my code against a very short and a very long line. A very small one moves a little bit too crazily. That's because currently the size of one step doesn't depend on the size of the text. It's still a product of hard-coded number 10 and the random number. So I think instead of 10 we could use a width of a line, or possibly some fraction of this width. But let's first check a very massive line as well. This time the steps appear too small. So really, let's use an actual size of a text to determine a width of one step. Let it be 1/50th. Okay, now a huge text makes huge steps, and a small one makes small steps. But maybe too small. Actually, I don't think it's possible to define such a magical rule that will work nicely for all sizes of text. Let's leave the current rule as a default one, and make a scale of shaking customizable. Let's make our main function callable with a parameter by which a user will specify a scale of shaking. And if this parameter is specified, let's use a given number as percentage points. I feel that this expression could be more elegant, but let's put it off until some big refactoring. Now I'll call my function with this new parameter. When set to 100, it should simply have no effect. Yes, it works at a default scale, and at least it didn't break anything. Amazing. If I set this parameter to 1, shaking becomes too small to notice. Try 1000, it gets faster. 100,000, incredibly fast. It makes me a bit nervous, so let's go down to 10. Okay, brilliant. But what if I don't specify this parameter? Oops, it can't destructure an object which isn't defined. This browser is so grumpy. So let's give it a default empty object and use a boring dot notation instead of destructuring. Now the code looks even worse, but the error is gone. Now let's try it with parameter again. Looks good to me.